All right.
Well,
Here
howdy.
we are, live once again on the Raid Owl channel. Here we are. Welcome everybody to the live stream on a Friday night. You guys must not have anything better to do. Welcome Colton from Hardware Heaven.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much for joining, man. Welcome.
Fun fact: I didn't think of it until literally just now. This is my first live stream. Well, no, I guess I hopped on Jeff and Chris's, which actually Chris Crosstalk Solutions just in the chat. That's cool. But I hopped on their charity live stream for a minute or two, for 5 minutes. But this is my first YouTube live stream actually, so this is crazy.
Wow. Well, welcome to the world of live YouTube. You can't edit anything out, so what you say is on the internet forever.
I'm terrified.
So just relax. Yeah, it'll be fun. So yeah, welcome everybody. Who do we have in the chat today? Man, we got quite the crew. We got Mario, welcome. ADHD Arts, welcome. Rippy the Gator, welcome back, my man. Back to civilization. Mr. Nighthawk, good to see you again. Repair Studio, what is up? Life from Scratch, welcome back. Mr. Allen, there he is. Will Smith, there he is. Who else do we have? Novella Hub. Hopefully I said that right. Amber. Right. Yeah, that looks right. Oh, I'm not going to butcher this one. Amir? I'm just going to call you Amir. Amir, welcome. And Nicholas, Nate, American Cosworth, and CM Nor, welcome back, you guys. Alden, welcome. And Jake. Okay, I think we covered everybody. Awesome. Well, I assume a lot of people are here because you guys want to hear about how our $200 Home Lab challenge is going and to see the live wheel spin. But let's do a little recap for those of you who watched the videos today, and I guess we can share our thoughts more candidly here live. Colton, you wanna kick off? What have been your thoughts so far on this challenge?
It's not what I was expecting it to be.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it is, but a lot of twists and turns I wasn't quite expecting. So, yeah, the wheel is interesting. The wheel is what really makes this whole thing.
It's designed to inflict pain.
Yeah, which that was all your
in some
idea,
cases.
so I appreciate it.
Yeah, in some cases. I mean, you started off the whole challenge was just making $10.
True.
Yeah.
I may have blown it in the second part though. So
it do be like that, but
yeah, first 2 weeks was it's weird because it feels kind of slow because I feel like a lot of it's just waiting on the last wheel spins. I feel like the very last week is going to be crazy. So even this third week that we're kind of on right now has been a little bit slow for me just because I'm hesitant to make any big decisions.
Yeah, I feel that. American Cosworth, thank you for the donation, man. We're here because you both made poor life choices. Well, man, you're going to be around a lot because that's my favorite thing to do. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Colton, someone said your audio is a little quiet, guys. If
is there anything?
Good to me, but I don't know.
I don't know StreamYard very well. I don't know if there's anything I can do to.
In the settings, maybe you can.
It says automatically adjust. Okay, I'm gonna bring it up here. I'm gonna take it off of auto and bring it up, and we'll see what happens.
Okay. So.
I'm always so quiet.
I can hear echo from your.
That's not good.
Do you have headphones or something?
Yeah, I probably have headphones I can put on. This is bad.
Okay. Oh, you're good. So. For me, I think, yeah, like you said, the waiting for the wheel, because when I started the whole challenge, I was like, all right out of the gate, I'm gonna start racking up some stuff. It's gonna be awesome.
Yeah.
Get a nice kickstart to this, and then I get hit with the wheel spins. I'm like, man, that's so dumb. Why didn't I just wait? But then if I waited, you know what? That's not content. That's not fun.
Yeah.
You can't just sit around and wait.
Someone did make a comment. By the way, let me know if my audio is better. Hopefully it is. I have no idea how this whole StreamYard thing's working. So,
That's good.
Cool. Yeah, I think someone had mentioned in a comment of if we do this again to maybe like stack some of the wheel spins at the top. That way, maybe still have one like later at the end that might kind of make it crazy towards the end. But having some stacked at the beginning, that way, it's like pretty immediately you know where you're at and like what you got, what some of the stuff is you have to work with. So.
Yeah, I mean, for a first try, I think it's gone relatively good. Amber, thank you so much. Love both of your channels. Keep up the awesome content. I appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Yeah, way to go, Amber.
Yeah. But I feel that I think we both, when we were coming up with the wheel, like what to put on there, it was kind of like, oh, this sounds really cool, but that would kind of break the entire challenge if we rolled something like that. So
yeah, there's still a few options that could. It didn't turn out that way, but there was some potential like how things could have turned out with the wheel that would have completely been game breaking. But I think we managed to avoid any of those scenarios.
Yeah, so far.
And so far, we'll see how tonight goes.
There's technically one wheel spin left.
There is.
Colin, thank you so much for the super sticker, my man. Yeah, so in terms of expectations, like with the challenge, I don't know. I thought it was going to be easier than it is because I was like, okay, $200, I can snag like a $50 server. I have $150 left over for this, and this. And then all of a sudden, like the first day, I'd spent like $130. I'm like, well, it doesn't leave much wiggle room.
Yeah, I think we talked about this. I think I edited this part out in my main edit, but in our first wheel spin, I can't remember if it was in yours or not, but talking about or maybe it was the second wheel spin, but like little things. Like all the time when I'm working on like a project for something, I'd be like, oh, okay, cool, yeah, I'll grab one of those adapters, or oh yeah, let me go grab some SATA cables out of my SATA cable drawer that I have. And then you're doing this and you're like, oh crap, I don't have that thing, and it would be another $10, and then it's like, okay, wow, that's 5% of my entire budget for a cable or something. Like the little things that you don't think about.
Right.
That's kind of bit me a little bit, especially this last week.
Yeah, and I want to clarify. First of all, Jordo, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Poor life choices make good content. 100%,
Exactly.
dude. That's the backbone of YouTube. Yeah, I want to clarify something as well. In this challenge, don't assume that what we're building is the optimal thing. Like at the end, don't be like, oh, okay, they built that for $200. I'm going to do that. I'm going to do what they did. It's probably not an optimal situation.
No.
Let's just say that. So it's more for entertainment and a little bit of educational value to it.
But mostly entertainment.
But mostly entertainment.
It's mostly just, haha, look at those two guys making really poor choices. At least that's my side of things, at least.
I agree. Amber, thank you so much again. Going to try to stay in for the whole stream, but it's 2 a.m. for me.
Oof.
I started to use Proxmox a bit more. Yeah, 2 a.m., that's rough. Before I had a kid, that was like prime time. I'd be like maybe thinking about bed at 2 a.m., but post-child, nah, I can't touch 2 a.m. But Proxmox, yeah, I'm a huge fan. I'm a Proxmox boy through and through. So good luck. And if you're not part of the Discord, link down in the description if you want to join. We have a bunch of people in there that use Proxmox as well. If you get stuck, come on down and ask, and we'll be happy to help. Kurt, 2 of my favorite YouTubers. I love working through building up my home lab. Thank you both for being great examples of home labbers. Man, what a nice like ego trip this is, dude. Who said YouTube commenters are toxic, man? Look at how friendly all YouTubers comments are.
I should have been live streaming this whole time. That's where all the nice people are.
I know, yeah. Who's gonna take time out of their day to come and troll live, dude?
Exactly.
Knock on wood.
I kind of hope it happens a little bit. It could be fun.
I've had a few come in before, but the
Yeah,
mods
Alden-
usually zap them right out.
Go for it, Alden. Actually, don't. I
Yeah.
don't want you to get zapped.
Yeah, it hurts.
Should we mention just so people can be thinking on the thing tonight? Should we go ahead and toss it out
go
there?
ahead. Yeah, do it.
So we have the remaining wheel spins as well as the bonus wheel or the bonu wheel for our French viewers. I don't know if anyone's actually seen that part. I don't know. Not in my video because that would have been the third part. I don't know. Anyway, but we have some extra additions that we might make, but that's up to you guys. So if you guys have any ideas for what you think could go on the wheel to make this challenge a little bit more exciting, feel free to put those in the comments below, and we'll maybe pick a couple, maybe one or two to throw in the wheel. So if you have any fun ideas, put them down in the chat.
They better be fun.
They better be fun.
And all positive, because we don't want any bad wheel spins. I say that sarcastically. If you can come up with something fun, it doesn't matter if it's a positive or negative game to us. We'll throw it on there. So
Yeah.
throw some in the meanwhile in the chat while we're kind of hanging out, and if we spot some good ones, we'll throw them on the wheel for our wheel spin. But I want to see how creative you guys are. We've been monitoring our comments on the video. We've seen some of the people who are like, "Well, I would have done it this way. Oh, why did you add that to the wheel? That's dumb. It should have been this." Here's your chance. Here's your chance live in chat. So, yeah. This will technically be the final wheel spin, meaning that we are in the home stretch of the challenge.
Yep.
Do you want to give a little spoiler and reveal how much budget you have left? If you do it, I'll do it.
Yeah, I have a
Or
spreadsheet. Hold on.
Or that ruin it?
Let me pull it up.
Okay.
It's probably not very accurate as to what's actually going on. But I think at this point, technically, I'm at... This might blow your mind a little bit.
So let's hear it.
161 and 57 cents.
Okay.
I'm skimping on the hardware side right now, though. That's where I don't have a whole lot going on. So,
Okay, $161 left in the final week or so.
yeah, it's going to be a bit of a mad dash, I feel like. But the 75 watt option, that got me.
That's rough.
Got me good.
Nicholas, been watching in preparation for our first home purchase. We're moving into this week. Thank you both for endless inspiration. Man, what is a
Endless.
home but just a large server room? That's what I always say. So congratulations on your oversized server cabinet. May it be filled with a plethora of home lab goodies. I appreciate it so much, Nicholas. Enjoy the home. So you said you had $161.
Yep.
I have 40 cents left. So
It's a lot of room for flexibility.
Yeah. We could be in a lot of trouble with this next wheel spin if it's going to require me to use any of my 40-cent budget. So this could be a make or break spin.
Maybe you'll get the bonus wheel.
Maybe so, dude.
You need a break. You really need a break.
I just want some googly eyes, man.
I think I really wanted the googly eyes. I was really mad that the stupid DVD reader, man.
I was thinking to myself, I'm like, well, okay, at the end, I think I'm just going to go out and buy some googly eyes just for fun. But I legit can't afford googly eyes. Maybe
That's rough.
Maybe if I go to what's the craft store, Michael's? You think they'll sell me like 2 googly eyes for 40 cents?
I'm sure you could
To be
throw on the
determined.
charm and
Yeah, to be determined. Maybe they'll let me. Let's see. Anybody got?
I'm copying and pasting a few of the ones I've seen in the chat, by the way.
You've been monitoring.
Yeah.
Not allowed to use the BIOS. Interesting. That could be
Can you hear me?
trouble. Yeah.
Okay, sorry. I lost it for a second.
Oh, okay, yeah, you're good. Let's see.
Yeah, AliExpress is probably a little late.
Yeah, AliExpress would be fun, but
In a couple months.
yeah, I don't know anybody who's gotten something from AliExpress in under a week. Mini ITX or Pico only. That would be woof.
I don't want this, but it's an interesting idea. Triple budget, but you must have high availability.
Oh shit! Like triple the initial budget or triple what you have left?
Yeah, I would assume that just basically means like you get an extra $400, but
Yeah.
then it's like, okay, what all is highly available? What's not?
Yeah.
That's a really
That
interesting
sounds
idea.
fun.
That was a
sound
really
cool.
cool idea. I appreciate the idea, and I appreciate some of the other ones too. Don't don't think I don't.
No, if he didn't say it out loud, he
I hated
he
it.
hates them.
I hated
Yeah.
it.
If he doesn't read it live on stream and praise you for it, that means he hates it. He told me
Really,
that before the
if I
stream.
say anything's good, you can just safely assume everything else is bad.
Yeah, like if I don't read your comment live on stream, I basically hate you. So just remember that, everybody. Oh, Stefano, welcome. I heard you guys. Oh, I heard you're going to build a $20,000 red thread. I can't even talk, dude. Threadripper server. Comments? Look, man, sometimes at night I'll be browsing the internet and I get in my own head thinking I should build a Threadripper server. And, maybe I type that into Twitter. Maybe I type that into the YouTube post thing, okay? Doesn't mean I'm actually going to do it, but also doesn't mean I'm not going to do it. We'll see. We'll see. New year, new me. New year, new Threadripper. That would be fun, though. Let's see. Oh, Guy Feldman, what is up, my man? Oh, he's the one who said
Yeah.
triple budget. Yeah, must have that. That is really cool, but that would be that would be tough. One stick of RAM only. Oof.
I copied that one down, but I was like,
Okay,
that's
now-
the problem with that one is it's almost just a worse equivalent of the one that's already on the wheel, which is limited to one PC only. So,
That's true.
well, no, I guess you could get creative because it says one stick of RAM. It doesn't say anything about soldered RAM modules.
You're saying break it in half and split it up, dual channel. Smart. I got it.
I was thinking more like Raspberry Pi, like single board computer type thing, something like
Okay,
that.
Yeah, that makes a bit more sense. Yeah, like that. That can go in there. That can go in there.
AMD
One
requirement
hard
could be
drive.
interesting, actually.
Ooh.
GPU or
Like
CPU.
Intel requirement. Intel requirement or AMD
feel like
requirement.
I feel like the thing about Intel requirement is I feel like that's typically in the price range
everything.
we're at. That's going to be kind of everything
Yeah,
because
yeah.
you're probably going to be looking at used and what's used. Yeah, because even like cheap Ryzen's, I had a lot of comments on. I was talking about that X79 video I did kind of recently, and I had a lot of comments that was like, well, why not just go Ryzen? And like you can get some good budget Ryzen stuff, but it's not. Even like first gen isn't like super cheap, and there's also
No, I mean, you'd have to find like a pre-built, someone selling like an old gaming machine or something, especially for under 200.
and I'm pretty
Get
sure
rough.
first gen Ryzen still has like issues with like power states, like
It's
Linux or
possible.
something like that.
First gen Ryzen was a
It was a fun beast.
a hot little mess. Yeah.
Yeah. Some of these would have been really good to have week one.
Number of transcodes requirement. I like.
I think really
something
quick
like
I
that.
should. I think really quick I should mention something. I'm not going to talk about who the judge is, but I think it's important to know how this contest is going to be judged, or at least kind of should be. I feel like everything has to be taken into account. So I got an extra $10 at the beginning, but I feel like to be judged fairly, you have to take that into account. Okay, I had $10 more, so I should be, my system should be, or my setup should be 5% better. And I think, with all the limitations that you had with the ZFS and the pre-built NAS, if you're able to pull something off, I feel like that's even more impressive. And, so even if one of us has a, on paper better system, but if the other person had a lot more limitations and was more creative, I feel like that kind of plays into how it's judged,
Yeah.
So
No, that makes sense. Amber, thanks so much again. This one's pointing towards Colton. I've been using your video series on Proxmox, Colton. So, boom. There you go.
nice.
Mr. Tutorial over
Hopefully,
there.
hopefully, I haven't steered you too wrong. So
No, but going back to the judging, what it's going to be is I don't think it's meant to be who built the most powerful setup. Like, I don't think it's designed to be like, oh, you have an 8-core system and you have a 6-core system, therefore, you win. It's more of what you did with the money, what you did with the spins, like you said, and it's going to be a bit of selling because we're going to do it live on your channel, and we're going to have the ability to kind of sell our setup, right? So I don't know.
Yeah.
What do we get? Like a minute, 2 minutes to kind of present our system and kind of woo
I'm sure
the judge?
we'll figure that out
Yeah.
about 15 minutes before the stream.
Exactly.
In a few
I don't
weeks.
know why.
So.
Yeah. I mean, we're the rules makers, so I guess we can do it however we want. But that's generally going to be how it is. Should be fun.
Hardware raid.
Ooh,
That would be
noise requirement.
noise requirement. I copy pasted that one, and
That's
as
a
I was
good
doing
one.
that, I cringed at having to do hardware raid. I mean, it wouldn't be that hard, but
No, it would just add a nice little wrench.
I feel like Wi-Fi. I saw Wi-Fi only earlier,
Oh God,
and I kind of love it.
that's just pure, like, oof. Okay, yeah, no, but does that require us to buy? I guess that requires us to buy an access point. Gotta have an access point for Wi-Fi. Oof.
But I mean, we'd have, because part of the rules is like you get to assume you have your modem router,
Yeah.
from your ISP. So I guess you just, unless you could, that'd be tricky because then it's like, okay, well, you couldn't run a software router because that would be,
Yeah, at what point do you? Well, if like you're gonna buy a router,
Hmm.
that means you already have like a firewall. So
yeah. So then technically, like something has to be wired somewhere. So that's kind of tricky. How would you, must have one device rack mounted? Oh boy.
does duct tape count?
I was about to say, I have zip ties.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Boom. Mounted
well,
in a rack.
I have enough budget for zip ties, so
That would be this one. This one I would not like. Required hypervisor that isn't Proxmox. So Proxmox not allowed.
if you had that,
I would be
wait.
so sad.
yeah,
That'd be, I mean, there's certainly other ways around it, but oof, that'd be a stinger. Yeah,
I think
Wi-Fi would
with
be
the
fun.
Wi-Fi one, I'm trying to think of a way that's not.
I like Wi-Fi. Assume you already have a router. And everything you do has to be through Wi-Fi. So it's like, oh, if I'm using this as an NAS.
I think I think
Well-
if you go ahead. Sorry.
No, I was gonna say, but then as I was thinking, I'm like, well, shit. I don't know that my NAS could connect via Wi-Fi. I'd have to
It
look
would
that up.
it would be. I mean, yeah, I have no idea your specific NAS.
Yeah.
Like you'd be looking at like a USB adapter or something.
Right, and I don't know if it even can do that.
That could be
I'm
tricky.
down, throw it on there. If
I'd say obviously like if it can't be, I mean, because you could get like one of those, like what are they, like the Wi-Fi bridges, where it's like you wire it in, but then it's that could get wild.
oh yeah, one of those weird like extenders. Technically, it's Wi-Fi. It's wired into a. Yeah, you could get creative with that. I say throw it on there.
Yeah, I'm down. I think RC78T, I have no idea how to say that, but I mean, some people have a spouse that is super angry about wires. Yeah, that, and I was kind of also thinking, if you live in some sort of apartment setting where Like, I actually had a friend who lived in an apartment building that they provided Wi-Fi, but you had no access to your router. You just had access to Wi-Fi. And so if you wanted to run something there, you don't really have a whole lot of options. So I think that could be fun. I like that one. I'm down.
Throw it on there. There's a good one.
RAID 0 is your main storage pool. I mean, for benchmark's sake, sure.
Yeah, it'd be hype. Just RAID a bunch of hard disk drives. Really get them things spinning up.
Can I use it? I don't know why. I was just thinking of, like, if we're just setting up something for the time to present it at the end of our video, would it be fair to do a 30-day free trial of Unraid? Does that count?
Yeah. Sure.
But
yeah, why not?
We'll see. You got to get scrappy when you. I was about to say when we barely have any money, and then I have $160 left. So
I have to get scrappy.
You have to get scrappy.
I don't even have $1 left.
Must be able to transcode 8K without buffering. 8K depends on what it is.
Yeah. Transcode it from.
Trying to think of what. What?
I don't even know where I would get 8K footage.
Yeah. I know I don't have any.
Yeah, me either.
Can't use GUI. Oh, that could be interesting. For me, maybe. Maybe not for you. I feel like you'd be fine.
100% infrastructure as code build. No services you can't deploy without Docker Compose / Ansible. So basically, you set up your whole thing and then write an Ansible playbook to spin it all up. So we bring in Jeff Geerling to do it all for us.
About to say,
I hire him for 40 cents. What can I get Jeff to do? That'd be my last budget.
Hard drive only, including boot drive. That could be kind of interesting.
Oh, that would suck.
That would really suck, but
that's the point. When I lived in an apartment complex, I used Cradlepoint. Used a Cradlepoint to bridge from their network to create my own network. I configured it in the way I wanted, and all my devices were private. Yeah, that's a way to make sure you're kind of separated from everything else. You make your own little double natted little VLAN kind of setup.
That's cool.
Technically be a LAN. But,
Spencer,
yeah.
Man, you're a masochist over here or something. SAS only.
Ew. I don't think it would be that difficult. It would just be annoying.
There was another one I missed earlier, but must have Firewire was the one I missed. That.
Gross. Okay, that's even worse.
Actually, what did I come across something not too long ago that had Firewire, and I laughed.
Yeah, that's something I've seen in a long time.
Yeah. Actually.
Uh-oh. Where's he going? Of course, Alan. Everything built on Arch. Mr. I use Arch.
I love all the random stuff I have just sitting around in my floor. Yeah. Oh, that's not the Firewire. There's Firewire. Yeah.
That's the old MacBook, right? How do I... Let me
Yep.
see. How do I... Oh, too late.
Oh, yeah. Missed it. It was there.
I believe you. Risk 5. Okay. Technically, well, no. That was something... That was another video.
Oh, Robert. Free NVMe drive. There is a bonus wheel option. So there's like 3 chances to land on the bonus wheel, which basically just has free prizes. So I probably should have thrown it out there earlier that you can throw out some options for the bonus wheel as well. So we have already on there. What do we have?
2 terabyte hard drive, 1 terabyte SSD, 1 item from the opponent's merch shop, 256 gigabyte NVMe drive, a pack of googly eyes, the DVD drive again, $10 Amazon gift card, that would help me, and 4 terabyte hard drive.
Some cool goodies on there.
Those are some good goodies. Some good goodies. Free 10 gigabit switch. Yeah, I'd get that and then sell it and then buy something my hardware could use.
Must
That'd be
include
too.
some sort of lighting or RGB.
Yeah, someone else said that before.
I missed it.
Yeah, it'd be must have a CRT monitor hooked up to it and play old NES games on it. That just sounds fun.
Yeah, I was about to say, now I just kind of want to do that for the sake of doing it.
Yeah, really. How about a restriction removal?
One free component from a friend. What's a what?
What's a friend, dude?
What's a
What is
friend?
that? Oh, a friend? I don't understand that. I'm gonna go to my friend. Hi. Can I have your Epic 16-core server you have sitting right there, please? Thank you.
Hey Jeff, can you send over that Home Lab
Yeah.
15 you got? That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Yeah. How kind. Is that even possible in 2023? Is dial-up even still a thing?
I imagine.
I don't
Well,
know if you
maybe
can buy
not.
dial-up.
Maybe not in the U.S. I'm
Oh.
curious if somewhere else maybe, but yeah.
Imagine how. Yeah, luckily neither one of us have hit that.
Yeah.
Landing on
That
the
would
Amazon
actually be,
gift card.
that's probably one of the ones I'm most worried about getting.
Which one?
Just because the Amazon one. Just
Oh,
because with
okay.
this week being like such a last minute scramble,
Yeah.
like not having that fallback of like, okay, well I can always just snag something from Amazon pretty quickly. So
Yeah. The one I think I'm worried about so far is probably SSDs only. I think that would suck because of the NAS I have and my lack of
Yeah.
funds available.
yeah,
be,
that one would be
uh,
tough.
That would be kind of brutal. Considering my NAS only has 1 terabyte of usable space anyway. So
Must fit in a shoebox. That would be a really rough one to get the last week.
that would be brutal.
I would be finding the largest shoebox I could possibly
Yeah.
find.
And I would be ripping things out of that case.
You could do like a no. You can't use an actual like piece like a
Build
chassis.
your own case.
Like
You have to.
everything
build your
has to
own
be
out of-
mounted in some sort of customized way. That's not using official like
No pre-built chassis. You have to build your own.
that could be
That'd
interesting.
be fun. Say throw that on there.
Or what do you guys think? Thoughts on that one? I feel bad because it was sort of a modification of.
I think it's a good. Build your own case. BYOC. Yes. Require a BIOS speaker. Just want to hear those beeps, huh? Loud and clear.
No open source software. That was actually wasn't that one we had? No, we had originally had open source only, I think.
Right. Yeah.
And then we were like, well, it's probably going to end up being that for the most part anyway, or like
Yeah.
it wouldn't be that restrictive. We didn't have the
Yeah.
opposite, which would be
Can't use closed source.
and what's the point? What's like the limit? Like if you use software that uses open source software, is that open source software? Because basically any like operating system you install is going to
That
be
can get too. I think that gets too
Yeah.
tedious.
yeah.
Must have a DVD drive to hold your beer. Well, you already have a DVD drive, so.
Yeah, spoiler, third wheel spin, I won the bonus item, and I got the absolute worst possible option there was. So
Cup holder.
I got a cup holder.
Yeah. Any software installed has to be compiled from source.
Windows only
Ooh.
actually would be rough.
Windows only. I mean, Does that just mean your base operating system? I assume so.
Yeah, I'd assume like you can't have an operating system other than Windows, which might be really rough if you got that one.
Yeah, that would.
I think that we'd enter the conflicting state of like, yeah, like because if you're forced to use an off the shelf NAS but also forced to use Windows, I mean maybe you install like Windows XP on it, Windows 95.
Yeah. Technically, it could work. Windows SMB shares, WSL might get a workout. Yeah, for real. I feel like people are just listing operating systems now. You have to use this. You have to use Gen 2. You have to use Arch.
I'm shocked I haven't seen the Hannah Montana OS yet.
I made a post on... It was on YouTube, like a YouTube, just a regular post with the HL15 I got and asked what operating system I should install on it. And one of the top comments was Hannah Montana.
It was like,
OS.
I went through those comments actually, and I feel like there was like at least like 4 or 5 I saw saying the same thing, which is why I'm shocked to have not seen it here. So
yeah, Hannah Montana Linux only. Well, there it is. Best. What is this? Best bang mini or micro box Lenovo Mini 70 or 720 8th Gen i5. What is it? Mini or micro box? I don't know that I understand the question. Lenovo Mini 8th Gen i5 for the buck, 4 terabyte M.2 SSD by PCI Express 3x3 and 3x4. Is that a question, or are you just telling me you bought this?
I think it's just like tossing it out there, I think.
Oh.
I'm not sure.
That's just confirming you to small form factor systems. Yeah. Small form factor would have been fun to get like early on so you can plan around it.
Yeah.
But I feel like getting it now would just, all that would have me do is sell everything and buy a, which I guess is part of the whole challenge, right? I mean, we could throw it on there.
Yeah.
Have you ever heard of Weka FS? Was that the, I saw it on LTT. I think that's the one. Is that the one that's like enterprise grade? That's super expensive.
I have absolutely no
like
idea.
A license is like 20 grand or something. Yeah, I think that's.
I have absolutely no idea. I've never heard of it. Must use LGA 775. Oof.
Ew.
As much as I would enjoy parts
That
of
would be a fun. Yeah, that'd be a fun like video. Is an LGA 775 build still viable? For this, it would just be like
no.
miserable. Yeah, no, it is not.
At least not with the. I mean, I say with the whole 75 watt thing, it wouldn't be, but
I mean, you could get.
It just wouldn't. It would be a very inefficient system.
Yeah, it'd be rough. Must be portable. I mean, technically, if you can just carry it, that makes it portable, right?
Yeah. I think didn't we have one at one point that was like the entire thing has to fit in a backpack or something like that.
One.
And then it was just like
the shoebox.
Yeah, it kind of got. It's much harder to come up with these ideas than you would think. So there's been a lot of really great ideas, but it's tricky.
You don't want it to be so limiting to where it kind of like ruins the fun.
Yeah.
But you want them to be like flexible enough to where you can be like creative with them.
Ooh, custom water cooled option would be terrifying for me.
That would be fun. Like I said at the beginning. So yeah, I think I get what people were saying. Like if you just spun a bunch of them in the beginning. So it's like, here's your set ones. Now you have a month, or you have a month until, or 2 weeks until the next wheel spin. So you have like one in the middle. instead of kind of like one every week.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get that. Tito says, thanks. Hardware Heaven, rest in peace. Thanks to your Proxmox videos, I could build following step by step my very first home lab. Thanks to that, I got my first IT job.
Whoa.
Just by projecting the lab on my CV. Smiley face.
That is
That's awesome.
super cool. That makes me really happy. Yeah, man. Way to go.
And,
Congrats.
yeah. Yeah, that's turns out when you have a hobby that can get you jobs, that's a pretty decent hobby, turns out.
That's great.
But yeah, I'd say there are some overlapping skills that I've learned in my real job that have translated to home labbing and vice versa, where in the home lab, I've taken what I've learned and translated that back into my real 9-to-5 job. So they do go together, obviously, depending on your job, but you know, it's one's for work and one's for fun, obviously. So that's why I don't do very much coding stuff on YouTube, because I'm usually doing it for my 9-to-5, and I don't want to come home and make a YouTube video about writing a Windows service or spinning up a .NET API. Like, I do enough of that. So, oh man, I haven't scrolled in a while. Okay, do we have enough? Is it time? Do you want to?
I think I stopped writing some of them down. I kind of forgot.
Okay. Do you want to read out the ones that we want to add to?
So I think we had the.
Okay, I'll do this in real time. I'll do this live.
Okay, great.
Let me do this. Why is this not? Hello? How do I? Oh wait, this? There we go.
Looks great.
Okay. Here we go. So here's what we have already. We have ARM CPU required, SSDs only, no more than one computer allowed, must use Open Media Vault, no eBay, no Amazon, and then 3 bonus items where one of them is in French. What do we want to add to that?
I think I don't know how we'd word it exactly, but I feel like maybe at least one server has to be can't be connected, can't be wired, networked. I'm trying to phrase it in the best way that
must use Wi-Fi. That doesn't mean only Wi-Fi.
But yeah, but I think it can't be because if you just say must use Wi-Fi, you're like, all right, cool. Let me go buy a $10 access point, throw it on there, and now I have Wi-Fi. You know, I think it has to be something of your home lab has to be connected via Wi-Fi.
Okay, so must. I guess when I say use, you have to use it, not just means like that doesn't mean
you can't just set up a Wi-Fi network.
Right.
You have to.
We'll say must use Wi-Fi with the intention that both of us understand that means you actually have to use it.
Please write all that out.
With the understand. Okay, there we go. Must use Wi-Fi.
Must have a Wi-Fi client. There we go. That's a great way of putting it.
Okay. Must
Nighthawk ATL for the win.
have a Wi-Fi. Oh, I had Wii. Must have a Wii. Nintendo Wii. Okay.
That would be tricky.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like those are hard to come by these days, especially with 40 cents left.
I do think I don't know if I want it to fill up a spot. Hard drive only was interesting, and I feel like it's kind of a nice counter to the SSD only, almost. You know.
All right.
But I do like the custom case idea though. You can't use a PC chassis. You can't use a PC or server chassis. It has to be
BYOC. Build your own case.
Yeah.
Okay. What are some other good ones?
Some of these ideas must use FPGA. Must be able.
Uh-oh.
Did you lose me?
Oh, you're good. You're good.
Okay,
You're back.
cool. Yeah, it keeps having these like tiny little dropouts for some reason.
Oh, the 1 stick of RAM. That one was funny. Do we want to throw
Yeah.
that on there?
Oh God. You realize you have ZFS, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Jason Whitmore, what's up, dude?
What is that, my man?
He gave me a free Steam Deck case that I still use, so I appreciate
really?
that. Yeah.
I see Jason all the time hanging out. So welcome back, my man.
I think.
Implement lag.
How many do we have? How many do we have so far?
Without the bonus item ones, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Yeah.
We have 9 regular and then 3 bonus.
I need to make this screen bigger. I feel like that's quite a few.
Swap budgets. I love that
I would
one.
die.
You would. That would be breaking. I think that would be a good one to have on the wheel at the beginning, just so that in the back of your mind you know, or
Yeah.
something. But
We did have, like-
doing it now would be rough.
Yeah, I feel like early on I was trying to find some way to have some sort of like a swap of some sorts, whether it was we had to swap a wheel item or we had to swap like hardware somehow, but that was going
Yeah.
to be really tricky to decide what. But swap budgets would be brutal.
And that's why I don't even know if Electro Mods. I don't know if you were in here when we shared how much budget we have left, but Colton has like $160 and I have 40 cents. So that would be a little game breaking
Yeah.
at this point. Anything else you want to add to?
I did find it funny that someone said you can't use hyperthreading, and I literally, spoiler alert, if you watched my side of the video, the Dell Precision I had, I no longer have, but I was like experimenting with trying to limit power usage, and I actually cut hyperthreading at one point just to see, so.
Yeah.
But, what's on the bonus
else?
wheel, Novella Hub asked. Mostly just like a few options for like free SSDs, free hard
stuff.
drives, $10 Amazon gift card, pack of googly eyes.
Yeah.
We can take the
that's-
DVD drive off since I already managed
I
to
can't,
score
'cause
that.
it's-
Oh, it's my wheel. Yeah, we'll just ignore it.
Yeah. Anything else before we hit the spin?
I mean, I think I feel good about it.
I feel good about. Okay. All right. Who's first?
I think it's me this time.
Okay. Do you want to start recording? Do your recording so we have, or do you have it recording? already?
I'm rolling. Here, I'll actually.
Okay.
I'm gonna stop it and restart it. That way, you don't have a massive clip of what all
Tight.
that was. So.
Okay.
All right. Wow, Brad, this is crazy. We're here at our wheel spin number 4. Would you believe it?
Say, everyone in the chat, say hi to YouTube. Say hi, YouTube, and you'll be in the video live. Well, yeah, welcome. Our final wheel spin of the challenge. The potential to be run ending. And you have the opportunity to go first. So
Spin it,
let
man.
me know. You
Spin
ready?
it. Spin it.
Okay. Let me subdue the excitement by awkwardly starting my recording real quick.
Oh, do we need to
Okay.
do that? Do we need to do that whole intro bit again?
Absolutely not. Okay, final wheel spin live on stream. Here we go. This is for Colton, by the way. And 3, 2. Let me full screen it. And 1.
I'm glad I can't hear the sound because it's terrifying.
Oh.
New item. Okay. So
Do you want to take it or?
we talked about this kind of before the show. I just feel like it's kind of lame if I do bonus item again.
Hey, that's on you. If you want to, we'll give you another spin since you've already got it before.
I want the googly eyes though, but I don't want to.
Hey, you got the budget
Yeah.
for it, man.
No, let's spin it again.
All right, well-
Spin it again. I feel like I don't.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't like
All
it.
right. Well, He wants to play on hard mode. This is
I do.
2 bonus items is too easy.
I'm sweaty.
Oh, you got the fun one.
Yes. I am excited, but also terrified now.
That's yeah. So BYOC, build your own case.
You know what's hilarious about this? So spoilers to my side of the challenge, but I went to buy something from somebody, and before I met them, I was like, hey, are you selling any other components or anything? And they were like, well, I have this, thermal take case. It's like one of the Core V21 or whatever, like one of their like boxy cases. And I was like, how much do you want for it? And he was like, I'll just give it to you. And so I took it, but I was like, I'm not going to use this for the challenge. Like, I'm going to take it because, like, why not?
Yeah.
I gave him like $5 for it because I felt bad. But I was like, I'm not going to use this for the challenge. And then, well, I kind of realized, well, hey, you know what? I may actually put that $5 back towards my budget and use this case because I may need it. So, but now doesn't matter. So,
nope.
No more
now
thermal take case. Now I gotta. Okay, here's a question: if I spent that $5 on that case, do I just lose it? Do I just eat it? I think I kind of have to. Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Okay. Well, this will be fun.
First of all, we gotta before we continue, we have to answer this question in the chat.
Please do.
Do you really like each other, or are you both doing it for the money? Sad face, and then more money. 100%. We
just the
hate
money.
each other. Yeah, it's absolutely for the money. Like, my video is probably making me around like dozens of dollars. So definitely for the money.
Yeah.
After spending $200 on the challenge, so yeah, 100% the money. Okay, well, I guess it's my turn. So I think I'm okay with... I don't want to say anything because I feel like every time I say something...
Every time you say it.
But it's funny for the content. So personally, I think I'm fine with everything on here except the SSD only and the HDD only. I think both of those would be the worst.
Yeah.
Oh, ARM CPU required too. I don't have any money left. Okay. Well, you know what? Let's just see. Let's just see what we get. No. Ooh.
Bonus item.
No, we never get the bonus items. We get
it's always the bonus.
Yeah, we. All right. Well.
Also, just it was a typo the last stream, and
yeah,
we're both showmen, so we just rolled with it, and yeah,
we're creative like that. We took a typo and made it into a joke. We're such good YouTubers. Okay. Yo. Low key, I want the pack of googly eyes, but I wouldn't be mad at $10 to Amazon. So,
yeah, that's pretty huge last week, I feel like.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah, I feel like that's probably usable.
I don't. Oh, wait. Yeah. Okay. I was like, wait, does my board even have an NVMe slot? It does. Okay. That's...
I was about to say, worst case scenario, you just flip it, you know?
Yeah,
and then people can get mad at you like they did in my video.
Oh, yeah.
Because I sold stuff.
Yeah.
Like, well,
yeah, I mean, that's kind of part of it. But okay. Well, that means that you have to build your own case.
Yep.
And I get a 256 gigabyte NVMe drive. I think that's my first actually...
That's your first good thing.
Non-detrimental spin.
Yeah.
So that's good. I like that. I think I'm going to do something crazy, though.
Crazy, you say?
I'm going to spin again.
Spin again?
I want another challenge, dude. I think I'm gonna do it for the content.
Are we both doing it for the content? We're doing it for the content.
Hey,
let's do it for the content.
One more spin.
This was not
One
planned.
more
I
spin.
want to be clear. This was
One-
not like planned.
One
Like
more
what?
spin. No, yeah, I got that 256 gigabyte NVMe, and I'm like, man, I want to go out on something. I want to go out on something fun.
I feel like
And
I'm
I'm
missing
gonna
something.
I'm
In
gonna
the
regret
comments.
this. I'm gonna regret this for sure. Loser has to shave their beard off? Absolutely not.
Oh God, I have not been beardless since my junior prom.
I shaved it as a joke my freshman year of college. So that was 14 years ago. Yeah, it's been a hot
Yeah.
minute.
That would be. I mean, steaks, YouTube content.
Okay, let me remove the bone you items because
Yeah, that's lame.
I'm not gonna get those.
Can you add googly eyes though?
Okay, yeah, just for okay.
Yeah.
Googly eyes. It's got to be on there. Okay. I'm going to regret this. Here we go.
Spin 3 times, you cowards.
Nah, I'm done after this. If I get the googly eyes, I'm walking off into the sunset with my...
You're getting arm.
and-
You're getting. Oh, okay. No Amazon.
Okay. Oh, that's fine. That's fine. I don't have any money left.
Hey, you got
I don't have any
your
money.
you got your SSD anyway. You're fine.
Yeah,
It's fine. It's
I
fine.
don't have money. All right. Safe.
Hit it. Hit
All right,
it.
you're going for it?
Just
Here we
get
go.
it. Just get it out of the way.
Okay.
Just go.
Okay.
No eBay.
Okay. You can't use eBay with
That's not quite as
$160
bad.
left.
That's
You
not
don't
quite
think
as
so?
bad.
Okay. All right. Well, we chanced it. We're not going again.
Spin.
That
I'm just kidding. No.
was, one more. No, that was totally unplanned, and I wanted to test the waters. So, okay, I don't get Amazon, which is okay for me. I don't know what I could realistically buy on Amazon for 40 cents, and then I get a 256 gigabyte NVMe drive, and you can't use eBay.
That actually might be a
So-
bummer. We'll see.
I mean, eBay was like my main source
Yeah.
of buying things.
I knew for the
that
last
would've
week it'd
been
probably come down to Amazon a little bit more just because of shipping. So.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, someone asked Dylan, did they announce how the winner is decided? What are they judged on? Basically, it's just up to the discretion of our guest judge, but they will take into account the challenges we've had to endure. And it's more so like how well did we handle what we were given, if that makes sense. So
Yeah.
I think that's kind of the best way to put it.
Account.
Yeah, it's really just up to the judge's interpretation, though.
Yeah. Your PCMD, thank you so much for the $5. Next challenge.
Heck yeah.
Take $100, buy a system and flip parts, repeat until you get $500, then build the best system you can for $500 using used parts. Why stop there? Keep flipping until you've built an empire
Yeah.
of used parts. Open up a used computer parts shop and then have Linus Tech Tips come in and buy out your entire store's worth of computer parts. And repeat the cycle.
Exactly.
That is the play. I appreciate it so much, man. That would be fun. If depending on how this goes, there might be more challenges in the future. We shall see. Yeah,
We'll see.
We talked about this earlier today, right?
Yeah, I
Novella
know.
Hub says LTT needs to bring back the Scrapyard Wars. They're saying.
I know why they don't.
Yeah, it kind of devolved into how YouTube works, but the gist of it was like the people who liked it really liked it, but it was a smaller subset of people than their, most of their content is aimed towards. So
Yeah. Like we were going back and actually, I know I was, and I think you said you had like watched some of the Scrapyard Wars stuff because I hadn't watched it in a long time. But I went back and was watching a few of them just because I loved that. Like that was a big inspiration for wanting to do this whole thing. And I was surprised to see like some of them only had. I mean, like I think episode 1 of I forget which season had like 6 million views, which is a ton of views. But compared to some of LTT's more popular videos, it's like not that crazy. So it's interesting. But I'm glad you guys that are watching seem to really enjoy the vibe.
and they put like a lot of work into those videos too. Like that's not
I think StreamYard dropped out again.
Uh-oh.
I don't know if it's... I'm going to blame
I can see
StreamYard.
you.
That way I don't have to blame myself. So
Okay, yeah, that's a good idea. It might be. I feel like I've had some issues with StreamYard dropping out, and it's only when I stream on StreamYard. So
someone's
Maybe
going to
it
use
is.
this as an example to tell me why I shouldn't virtualize PFSense. So
oh god, you're
Like-
virtualizing PFSense.
I have been for like
Embarrassing.
six months, something.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
terrible.
No,
Someone said my wife was going to divorce me.
Well, I mean,
So far, so
it makes,
good.
I don't think my wife even knows what PFSense is. She knows what she likes. Proxmox. She knows that's a hypervisor.
That's
and
cool.
Kubernetes. Likes how that sounds. It's fun to say. I
Yeah, that's a
agree.
fun one.
Kubernetes is fun to say. If you are ever in a room with IT people at your job or something, just randomly in the middle of the meeting say, hey, we should run that in Kubernetes. And they'll either think you're a genius or hate you. So try it out. Let me know how it goes.
That should have been a wheel item. Kubernetes.
Use Kubernetes. Yeah, I mean, that would be...
I mean, can't really. It's
Yeah, all I would do is spin up like 3 VMs and run Kubernetes on each of them. I mean, it'd be fun just to show that you can do it.
yeah.
But Kubernetes, yeah, it is fun to say. I agree. Is Chris Sherwood the judge?
Maybe.
Figured it out, dude. Figured it out, man. Yeah, pack it up, boys. Now, nobody knows who the surprise judge is, and you'll never guess, ever, in the history of time. So
Nope.
don't even try.
Hey, have you heard of Ventoy, Brett?
Oh, no, what's that, dude? Please tell me, because I've never seen a single comment on YouTube about Ventoy.
Yep. Jason got it. Ryan Seacrest.
Oh, right.
Congrats,
Dude, how did
Jason.
he know?
Congrats.
Okay, so the final is actually going to be in Hollywood. We're both going to Hollywood.
Flying out.
With Ryan Seacrest, and we're going to show off our builds in front of the American Idol original judges.
Yeah.
So, surprise. There you go.
Wait,
Nailed it.
not Ventoy, Iventoy. What, is that actually a thing? I thought it was a typo.
Ivan Toy? Is that a play on words? Am I looking really dumb live on stream?
Enhanced version of the PXE server.
Must
Oh,
be
yeah.
computing one less louder than Brett.
No, Amber, I haven't heard of it until just now, but it's a network boot solution.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, look it up. It's cool. People like it. Oh, I've got my baby monitor here because I'm on daddy daycare duty.
Yeah.
So I'm watching him. He's squirming around. So you better go back to sleep.
You better.
Dad's streaming.
You don't want to put me here by myself. That wouldn't be good.
Nah, he's good. He'll usually roll over and go right back to sleep. So yeah, we have our wheel spin done. I guess it's time to talk about what you want to share anything else you got going on outside of the challenge? Anything fun
else I got going on?
projects coming up you can disclose to us? A little sneak peek of what's going on in the Hardware Haven channel.
I have no idea what I'm gonna play around with. I actually have 3 Dell Wise thin clients
Ooh.
from a few different generations. So I think I'm gonna make a video along the lines of, is this a wise decision?
Oh, that play on words. Damn. I've got a lot of comments about when I do any type of like mini PC or low power or something. Everyone's like, just get a Dell Wise system. Get a thin client. Like, okay, well,
Yeah.
maybe one day. I can't do a video on every single thing.
At all
Maybe
times.
one day I'll make it over there.
Yeah. Another cool thing. This is way off topic, but I've been really digging it. I got my
Ooh.
framework laptop.
Which
I
one's
was
that?
It's just the 13-inch,
Okay.
the 13th gen. I was trying to find one of the renewed because I don't need anything crazy. I just use it to like write scripts and not have to do it in this room all the time.
Yeah.
But I was hoping to find one of the renewed ones, but I just bit the bullet and bought the cheapest 13th gen. But it's been great. I was when I quit my real job, I had to turn in my MacBook, so I didn't realize how much I enjoyed having a laptop. So
Yeah. No, I think I've had a framework in the cart 24 times in the
Yeah.
last year. Like, I really like those 16-inch ones. They're so freaking cool, but I already have my MacBook, and I really don't need another laptop. I went as far as to, because I was the same boat. Like, I want to be able to like do some work and like some light editing, not right here sitting in front of this desk, which is also my 9 to 5 desk as well.
Mhm.
So doing this to this isn't much of a change of view as I'd like, but my MacBook is so freaking like powerful, and it's like the best laptop ever.
Which model is it?
The 16-inch M1 Pro.
Oh yeah,
It's
that was
a beast.
That was the exact one I had from work, and I remember because I had we used Macs where I worked, and I had like a 2016 something like that, and I was like, I don't need an upgrade, it's fine. And then finally I was like, yeah, sure, whatever, and they gave me that one, and it was nice.
So legit.
That's the battery on the framework isn't terrible, but I took for granted the ability to basically just not charge my work laptop for like a week, and it would
It's nuts how powerful it is and how power efficient it is. It's crazy.
yeah.
And I I was like, man, being able to like edit from the couch would be so nice, but Wi-Fi isn't quite there yet. I can do some like very light editing, like some A-cut stuff over Wi-Fi, but I want to be able to like just like do real editing. So I ran a cable right by the couch. We already have a RJ45 port that's running to my switch, and I just ran it along the carpet like a little cable cover thing up through the couch in between the cushions and plugged into a USB-C adapter. So I just plugged that into my MacBook, and I have 2.5 gig networking
Nice.
on the couch. And
That's super nice.
It's pretty dope.
I have
a change in scenery.
When we built this house, I had them just wired up with. I should have done something else, but realistically, Cat5e has been fine. Like, I'm running 10 gig over Cat5e, so it's like, whatever, it's fine. I'll regret it maybe later, but yeah, I have a jack in our kitchen that I can just go like plug. I have like a 20-foot cable I can just go plug it into if I really need to do something from my dining room table or whatever. But I find myself like if I'm just doing like a rough cut and I don't want to do it in here, I'll just use like Parsec, and it's like decent enough just to go through and do like rough, like not detailed stuff. So
Right. Yeah, I've used that quite a few times. I've installed in my main machine actually I had to replace the motherboard in my workstation because Wake on LAN would not work on my old one. So I bought a whole new motherboard just for Wake on LAN. So I could turn it on and run Parsec to do editing stuff. Not a great investment, but I did it. So I'm sitting here waiting on my Zima Blade. Rocket Gaming laptop is my daily driver. I have a Zima Blade sitting right over there that was sent to me, and I have no idea what to do with it.
it's kind of a weird. I think for the right use case, it's like perfect, but it's kind of weird.
So when they said they were coming out with the Zima Blade, I thought it was going to be a 1U blade type
Yeah, it was
server. I thought it was going to be like a powerful 1U thing. So when I saw that, I was like, what the hell is this? And I thought it was going to be like a huge step up, which it has like a slightly better processor, but the I/O isn't as good as the Zima.
well, it potentially has a
blade.
worse processor depending on which one.
Yeah.
Um,
So the high
yeah.
end Zima boards have a better
Which
CPU. Yeah.
they have
Either way.
a Zima board 2 planned, which is going to be like a direct
Upgrade.
successor to
Is it the same form factor or is it?
They haven't like announced anything,
Uh,
and I haven't heard anything. I just know that actually I don't know if they've announced. they may have not announced that. I don't know.
yeah, this was
All I
it was
know is that
joking.
there is a
There's a
yeah,
plan.
yeah. I honestly can't remember if that was through email or through like an FAQ on the Zima Blade
Yeah.
thing. But no, I think it's in the FAQ. If you go to like Zima Blade's FAQ, I think they basically say like this isn't a successor. We have plans for a successor, which I think they
Yeah.
didn't directly say Zima Blade 2 or Zima Board 2, but yeah, which I
Yeah.
don't even know if that's actually the name to be fair. But there is a successor planned for Zima Board. Zima Blade's supposed to be like an offshoot.
Yeah, it's cheaper, I guess, but man, they sent it to me and I didn't even ask for one or like it just showed up and they were like, okay, so when can you have the video done? I'm like, I don't want to do a video on this. They sent me the whole box with all the accessories and shit, and I'm like, I have it sitting there. I hooked it up, and I'm like, I have nothing to say about this thing, man. It's
I mean,
like
if you
the
didn't
Zima
ask
board,
for it, like I feel like there's no. I'm
No, I
I'm
don't
kind
feel
of in
bad.
I'm kind of in a similar boat with the. Well, I was in a when I did the Zima board video, and they said they'd send it over. They sent some of the PCIe cards, and I was like, oh, cool, you sent some of the cards so I can test it. That's great. And then when they sent the Zima Blade, they sent like the exact same kit of all the same cards, and I was like,
Yeah.
I was like, guys, I don't need these. I
Yeah.
appreciate it, but
There's like a 10 gig card in there, like a quad, 1 gig NIC, like
the 10. I mean, the 10 gig
NVMe.
card, I was.
Yeah,
Cool.
10 gig cards are useful, but yeah, I didn't request it, and then I got it, and I'm like, I literally have nothing to say about this. I could do like a 5-minute video, like, yep, this is it. It's like kind of the same thing as the Zima board, but like a little worse and a little
the
cheaper.
coolest thing about it wasn't even the board itself. It was the little like metal hard drive cage. At least for me, like the little like hard drive cage.
That is cool.
I was like,
Yeah,
that's
I
kind
do
of
like
badass
that.
the way that like that looks, and like the
Yeah, and it
it's-
sits on top of it, and
yeah, but like outside of that, I was like, okay. But
I could literally just grab it. It's sitting on right here.
they did a. Can you hear me still or no?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, well they did kind of a similar thing with me with the Zima Cube.
Yeah, they said they were sending me one and told me I'd have a tracking number, but
Yeah, I
did
don't.
you get it yet?
No, I haven't gotten it yet.
Okay.
But same thing. Like they didn't say like, "Hey, are you interested in checking this out for a video?" They just said, "Hey, sorry, we've been busy. Here's the tracking, or like it's been
Yeah.
shipped or whatever." And I was like, "Okay, cool." I actually don't even know if I'm going to do. We'll see.
Yeah, this little metal threw
Yeah.
hard drives in there. They fit really nicely in there. And then the Zima blade sits right on top, which I get it. It's cool.
Mhm.
And if I hadn't done a video on the Zima board already, I'd probably show it off. But like,
There's
I
not a
guess-
whole lot else to add besides.
yeah, I mean, I guess that's part of YouTube and showing these things off. I mean, just because I showed something similar off, I guess that doesn't mean I can't do this. But I'd just be like, man, I feel like I'm repeating myself. It has expandable RAM. That's cool. That's something you couldn't do on the Zima board.
Oh, dang it!
But-
You asked earlier if there's anything interesting that I'm like wanting to talk about, and I was like, I don't know, really. Maybe and I forgot there's something I'm actually way more interested to talk about, but I put it out in my garage today because I needed to like clean up, so it's not next to me. But so I guess I'll just have
is
to.
it
I guess I'll
what
have
I
to go
think it is?
subscribe to the channel. What do you think it is?
Is it?
It's actually not super. It's less.
Oh. I thought it was going
I think
to
I cut out
be.
again.
I can still hear you though.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's
I'm guessing it's. Does it have something to do with the number 45?
it does not, unfortunately.
Okay.
I'm not cool. I'm not IT savvy enough.
Shucks. Oh shit. I thought you told me they sent you something.
I reached out. No, they didn't.
Okay.
I kind of reached out to just be like, hey, if you got any more of those laying around. I'm not even
Yeah.
like. I there's a part of me that kind of, not to be petty, because like I don't actually care that they didn't send me anything. Like I don't expect anyone to send me anything, but I was like really tempted to do like a DIY Home Lab 15 and just
Yeah.
build like a really crappy version of it, for partly because so many people have complained about the price tag, and
Yeah.
so it's like I could easily do, it's like, okay,
Well, that's
well, let's
whatever. I mean,
actually do it and see what happens.
Yeah, the gist of my video on that's going to be, it's so impossible to market towards the home lab community, because unless you're coming out with something super cheap, and if you're coming out with something super cheap, that means it's going to be low power,
Yeah.
like these Zima boards and stuff. To come in with something like that is so impossible to do, because the home lab community is built around salvaging older enterprise hardware, and
Yep.
you can't have old hardware without new hardware. So it's got to come from somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
You have to get out there eventually. So they're taking that first step into spinning up this home lab division and these home lab kits. So, I mean, I get it. It's not for everybody.
Yeah, I mean, it's not.
Freaking.
I can't afford an $800, and Novell Hub says $800 is the case, which is kind of true, but it's also the case and the
That's the
backplane,
backplane too.
which and
Yeah, you could find something similar, like an old setup, and that's like what I was getting at. Like, yeah, if you're looking at just the specs, it's a case with a pretty decent motherboard and a very underpowered processor for the price.
yeah, but which I do kind of think was an interesting choice, because I think for the enterprise side of things, it's like the perfect choice, because if you're buying something like that, it's going to be running as dedicated storage. Like you're running that,
Right.
You're installing TrueNAS, or you're, Rocky Linux with like their 45 drives, whatever
Yeah.
they do, or
Houston, yeah.
yeah, the Houston, whatever. But for like the home lab environment, there's a really good chance people are going to be looking at that as a multi-use. Like, I'm going to buy this,
Yeah.
I'm going to load it up with the drives, but I'm also going to use that as my hypervisor. And so I do think that was kind of an interesting choice, where I think that's where a lot of the pushback kind of came from, was the people who were expecting that to be more than just running TrueNAS for dedicated storage and like nothing else.
Yeah, that's a good point. And another point is that, like, if you're in the market for a 15 drive server that you're planning on filling up with drives, you're probably in the market where you're probably spending a lot of money already on hard drives. Like, the people who are, I mean, I'm not saying there's not people out there who have 15 bays and fill it up with like 1 and 2 terabyte drives and run Unraid or something. There's certainly people out there like that, but I'd be willing to bet that the people that are looking for a server with 15 drive bays are not filling them up with cheap 2 and 4 terabyte.
You're
drives.
most likely, and if you are, like, you're probably wasting money in a lot of ways, like just price, or like what it's the cost per terabyte or whatever, like that breakdown. And then also like power draw, when you start getting into all that, it's probably a lot better to have. I mean, you also have performance. I don't know. I'm not going to get into that.
Yeah, no,
It starts to get where I'm going to, that starts to get into the territory of me just sounding like an idiot. So
yeah, I'm not saying there's not people out there. I mean, it's obvious, like, there's people out there that are running 12 2 terabyte or 4 terabyte drives.
yeah, but even 12
Mr.
4
Allen
terabyte
here.
drives is going to be, you're spending, if you're buying those new,
48
you're spending
terabytes.
close to $1,000, probably like $800, $900, something like that.
Or
if I had to guess.
you buy like 3 20 terabyte drives, and for close to the same price. So, and you have room for expansion, and you're using less power.
Yeah, but then you're also
So-
going to have like slower, you're gonna have less performance if you're not.
Depending on your setup, but
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying. Like if you're buying something like, if you're looking for a new server to house 15 drives, I don't think it's so out of the realm to spend $800 on a I will give them that. It is very well made.
I haven't got to see it, so I can't vouch for it, but I imagine it is. So.
It's all like rolled metal. Like it's very beefy, which I guess some people don't give a shit because it's sitting in your server rack, but
Yeah.
some people do. I mean, and there's always a market for that. Like no matter what type of product you're selling, there's always going to be a market for the thing that does the same thing as something cheaper, but just looks nicer and is built better. Like there always is that market. So I get it.
I'm just ready for like I was kind of hopeful with the Zima Cube, but then I think they went a little bit. I mean, I think it's a little bit just the case of it isn't as cheap as some people may think to have a 6-bay enclosure with the backplane and have it compact and like work pretty well. But I don't know. I'm still hopeful at some point we'll be able to have like a pretty inexpensive, 6-bay compact enclosure.
Yeah.
There's just not a whole lot of good options on the market for like a DIY setup that's not.
There's that case. I see it pop up every once in a while. It's like a small form factor 6-bay.
There's like a few. I know Jeff did like a video. His was like an 8-bay. It was like an AliExpress something. And it was 8 bays unless you needed to use an ATX power supply, and then it was like 6 or something like that. But
no, there's and I mean, it's probably not just limited to the home lab community, but yeah, like I said before, the home lab community is built on so many people are. I mean, you get the comments all the time whenever you make a video. It's like, oh, why didn't you just get an old Dell Power Edge? Why didn't you just get this? Why didn't you just get an old this? It's like,
there's options.
It's
a good thing that there's
some
options.
people want new stuff. Like,
yeah.
Some people have the budget, and some people like getting new stuff. And you should thank them, because without them, you wouldn't have the old stuff to buy. So
there's good on both sides.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think it is always like frustrating that that's how a lot of those comments are presented, is like, why didn't you do this? Whereas it could just be, oh, interesting. Just in case you didn't know, here's another option. So I think it's, but I'll just stick with my, I have an old Antec, what is it, P something, I forgot the case, an old Antec case, and a used Super Micro board with a Ivy Bridge i3 is still what's like running my main TrueNow server. So
nice.
She's still kicking.
Yeah. Axios asked us, what OS do you daily drive? Is this where you...
At this point, I am fully Windows. I do want to set up my framework to dual boot, because I do want to get some more experience with Linux desktop. I tried it for a bit on that old MacBook I held up way earlier. I tried, and I realized that was a mistake trying to run Linux on that, just because of drivers and everything. Yeah. So I'd like to give it another shot. There's just no way I can daily drive Linux because of the software I use, or at least the software I've used for. It was literally a limitation with my old work of like software I used doesn't exist in Linux, so I'm not going to change my workflow to so
you can do what I did and just make a video on switching to Linux and running that as a desktop for a week and get all the people in the comments who are angry that I hated it. So you can do that.
Well, you just did it wrong.
To be fair, there was a lot of people who were very supportive and are like, yeah, I get it. Linux is hard to switch to and blah, blah, blah. But there are people who are so angry. It's like, you can't expect to switch to an operating system and be proficient with it in a week. I'm like, what do you mean? I switched to Mac OS and I was perfectly fine with it after like a day. Like, no, you weren't. I'm like, what? Yes, I was. It's just easier. I get some people like running Linux on desktop. That's perfectly fine. But there's no way you can sit there and tell me for the most part, it's easier and more intuitive than Windows or Mac. I will stand by that. But and people hate that. They hate it
I'm
so
all
much.
for the day. I am all for the year of the Linux desktop, but that just
Me
means
too.
it has
It'd be
to
fun.
be. It just has to be. It has to be good enough to where it, you know, it's actually easy. And as someone who actually enjoys tinkering, I don't want it to be where I have to go fix things when. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I mean, like I have to fix things in Windows. That's not like that doesn't exist, but yeah.
Well, that was the thing. It was like when I was like, yeah, Windows and Macs, just I like it better. And they're like, oh, well, they're not perfect. I'm like, I never said they're perfect, but I have significantly less issues in terms of when I need a piece of software, I don't have to cross my fingers hoping that it's supported or even compatible with Linux. Like,
Yeah.
I just know that when I go see a piece of software, I'm 99% sure it's going to run on Mac or Windows. So,
Yep.
I mean, yeah, like I get, there's people who love it, and I see the appeal of it. It's super fun to be involved in that community where it's all open source. It's like power of the people type thing. There's so many different choices you can have. It's more customizable. It feels more personal. But I don't care enough about my operating system being personal. I just want it to work.
Yeah.
So
And
the software I use.
and software is always going to be, because I feel like that's one of the points that always gets brought up is like, well, you know, because like for me, I did audio stuff pretty much. That was like most of my job for a long time, and I worked primarily in Studio One, which doesn't exist. And but you know, people would be like, well, you know, there's like DAWs that exist in Linux. And it's like, yeah, they exist, but it's not what I use. It's not what I'm like
Right.
proficient in. And I mean, even right now, I'm making the switch to DaVinci Resolve, and that is brutal. And I mean, like the
Welcome to
reality,
the club.
the reality of I think like people who are in situations similar to, and I know at this point you're not fully reliant on YouTube, but like time is money. So like the
Right.
probably 30% of my week at least is taken up with editing. And if that takes me 3 times longer to do because I'm having to learn new software, it's like, okay, that's a lot of time
Yeah.
now. Like I'm probably going to be one video shorter next month than I would be just because I'm going to be slower. So that's income that we just don't get because I'm having to learn new software. So it's not as easy as just, oh yeah, we'll just get different software. Recently, the biggest thing I almost just like pulled the trigger and installed like Linux Mint on here or something. And then I realized I use AutoHotkey like crazy.
Yeah.
And there's no AutoHotkey there's some like versions of it. But I'd have to have like 2 different versions of scripts for everything. And it's like just not worth it. So
No, I fully understand that. That was one of my main gripes when I switched to Linux was that I was heavily invested in the Adobe ecosystem with Photoshop and Premiere Pro, and that's not available on Linux. And everyone, not everyone, I'm not going to say everyone, but there were a lot of people in the comments were like, yeah, just use Resolve and use GIMP. I'm like, oh, okay.
Cool.
I mean, yeah. Oh, just take all the knowledge that I already have and just change it because why not? Because for this arbitrary reason of switching to Linux. But I mean, I get it. If you become proficient in Resolve, which I am now, and if you become proficient in GIMP, which sounds awful, but if you are, then cool, you're good to go. They will pry Photoshop for my cold dead hands because I've used GIMP a few times and no, absolutely not. I cannot.
yeah, I'm kind of terrible in all of them. So
I am not good, but I enjoy it. So I will keep using Photoshop, but
the only reason my thumbnails look halfway decent is because of Canva. So I
feel like everyone's hopping on that Canva train.
it's I still feel like I put a decent amount of work into it, and I try to make it not look like it's like I don't use any like the templates or anything, but it saves me time. But
If you say Linux 3 times, does it summon J?
maybe.
Linux TV. It might. That dude puts out some freaking videos, dude. That dude, golly. I feel like there was one time where he said he had like 30 something in the queue or something that were already done.
Yeah.
Just like, holy shit. Like,
There's
I had one time where I had 2 videos done. I was like, man, this is fantastic. I have 2 whole videos done. I can release one tomorrow and then release another one in a few days. I don't have to do anything. Having like 30 is bonkers.
Yeah, I think at one point I had a video finished by the day that the previous video went live, and I was like, this is a miracle. How did...
Yeah, it feels so good. Adobe will probably Photoshop from your cold dead wallet. True. Adobe
Yeah.
is trash for their subscription model, but what am I going to do? Not pay it?
I mean, that's what I'm about to do. So
Yeah. What am I going to
But
do? Not
that's-
spend money?
that's more so not the fact that I don't want to keep paying for it. It's more so that I don't want to keep paying for it and it not work. So I
Yeah.
spent, did I tell you the time I spent 2.5 hours letting working with Adobe support, and then they ended it basically saying, hey, well, maybe just change the way that you use our software. Also, we noticed you don't have our full subscription plan. Would you be interested in upgrading
Oh,
for
yeah,
only?
you
And I was
told me
like,
that.
we spent 2.5 hours. You didn't solve my problem. Told me I needed to change my workflow so that way it works alongside the bugs you have. And then you tried to
Yeah.
upsell me. I was like, that was basically the catalyst for me being
Hey,
like,
man,
all right,
shoot your shot.
DaVinci
dude.
Resolve.
That's the definition. That's the definition. Just shoot your shot. He was working on that commission. He put in 2 hours of talking to you. He said, you know what? Hey, how about throwing me a little money, dude? Come on.
And he was
That
not
didn't
like
hurt.
that was as bad as I was like, oh, this dude, I feel bad for him. He's trying, like he's doing his best, and then that happened, and I was just like, oh, man. So,
Yeah.
Spencer, how did I decide when it was time to quit my job? It was mostly what I was doing before, just with like commute and schedules was like rough with like family stuff, and so we were already kind of thinking through some sort of transition to get out of that. Not that I hated my job or anything, but it was just difficult with like schedules and family stuff. And then right around that time, YouTube was nowhere near sustainable, but it was almost getting to the point where it was like, okay, if I, instead of just working late nights putting these videos together, if I actually had like time to do it during the week, I think I could make it sustainable. So yeah.
Yeah,
That's
that's
about
always
it.
a fun one to hear creators answer that have switched from 9 to 5 to full-time YouTube. And I feel like it always comes down to pretty much the same things. Like, when does that line cross where
Yeah.
leaving your job and YouTube becomes somewhat similar in terms of sustainability?
For sure.
And then you have to leverage, I guess you know this, but where, because I've thought about this if I ever make that switch, which I don't plan on doing anytime soon, but like if I didn't have a full-time job, how much more time and effort I can put into making videos,
Yeah.
which would then increase obviously how much content I can produce and how much revenue you can make and stuff like that. But that's too scary for me, man.
And it's definitely been like, I knew switching it was going to be, it's been a little bit, I've kind of slowed down a little bit, but for the first like 2 months it was like, okay, I'm gonna, instead of just working the evenings and like the nights, it's gonna be working full work week plus the evenings and nights just to kind of get things rolling. And then but yeah, it's still definitely a full-time job, especially when you do a challenge where you have to put together a $200 home lab in a month.
Yeah, I think Mr. Allen nailed it. And yes, people, I know his name says Alien of One. It's an inside joke. He's been here since day one, and my text was so small, I thought his name said Allen, so that's why I call him Allen. Anyway, said I hated working 9 to 5, so I started working 24/7. That sounds
Pretty much it.
pretty spot on. They, man, I tell you what, before I had the baby, like I was in a groove. I had this whiteboard up with the month, and I had plans of when videos were going to come out. I had a second channel I was working on. I had plans of when I was going to film, script write, post, edit, all mapped out. And the last month that's written on the board is March of this year. Can you guess when I had a baby? Which month?
Probably March,
Wow,
April.
good guess. It was March. Shocking. Yeah, now it's just like, man, with the free time, I just have to whip something up. No more second channel. Everything's straight to this one. But yeah, I at least it's still fun. That's the big thing, is that I think once it becomes not fun, that's when you just throw in the towel. Brett, do people that's a funny one. Do people at your work know you make YouTube videos? Some do. Obviously, my friends at work know I do. I had one guy that I used to work with years ago. He still works in a company, just in a different department. I don't work with him too much anymore, but I got an email from him a few weeks ago that just said, like, what's this? And I opened the email, and it's a screenshot of me on one of my YouTube videos. And he's like, and he wrote, like, how did it, like, my mind was blown when I was looking up tutorials for something on YouTube and I saw your face. I was like,
That's funny.
and then one of my, this other guy I work really close with said he was he was walking around his house and he heard my voice coming from, like, I guess one of his kids' rooms or whatever, and he was like confused because he's like, "Oh yeah, I'm used to hearing Brett's voice on work
I'll be right
calls."
back. Sorry, one
Yeah,
second.
go for it. Go for it. But yeah, he was like, "I'm used to hearing Brett's voice on like work calls and stuff." He's like, "Wait, this doesn't make sense." So he goes in there, and his kid, who's like 17 or something, like looking up how to do something on YouTube, was watching one of my videos, and he was like, "I work with that guy." So I've had a couple of times where people from work have found out about my channel, but I don't go around advertising it by any stretch to people that I work with. But I just had a few funny stories that I had to share. I agree. Working for the government full time has made trying to make content so hard, especially getting a year older next week at 45. Dude, I get that. Balancing, especially when you have so many ideas. I mean, I'm just speaking from personal experience where I have so many ideas of videos I want to make, and content that sounds fun, and videos I could turn around and shoot, but some that will require a bit more time to research and try out. And I'm like, man, I only have so many hours in the day. So I feel that. I feel that one hard. Ursi78T, I hope I said that right. It's probably not right, but I appreciate you, man. Thanks for hanging out. Enjoy your slumber.
What did I miss?
You lost the baby weight really well. Would have never guessed you had a child. I know, right? It was, it just fell off of me when the baby was born. It's crazy how that works. Yeah, it's, I can't tell if this is all caps for sarcasm or not. Do you know how instrumental you were in helping me set up HA proxy and PF Sense? I hope I was. I loved HA proxy and PF Sense. That's the one major thing I miss when I'm now running Unify. So, what's this one? What, Brett? You don't want to be tech support for 100 more people? Dude, that's literally well, I'm not actually tech support, but no, I don't want to be tech support for 100 people. Yeah, that's rough.
Did you answer Novella Hub? Where's the weirdest spot or place you've been to get ideas for YouTube videos?
No, I didn't see that. Let me scroll back up. Where? Oh, here we go. Where is the weirdest spot or place you have been to get ideas for YouTube videos? I don't know if I'm trying to think of the weird spots I've been when filming YouTube videos. Because I put myself in some weird spots just for like random clips. Or done some random stuff for videos. I filmed multiple scenes out in the woods, which is awkward carrying a tripod and camera gear off into the woods when there's people by near you. Kind of wondering what the
Suspect.
hell you're doing. Yeah, that sounds a little sketch. Who knows what he's filming out there? Throwing a hard drive up in the air while I had a tripod set up in my front yard was also a fun one to explain when the neighbors came out.
I for this part 2 video, just for some B-roll, I like took video of me throwing an entire PC case into the trash in my dumpster out of my driveway, and a couple people drove by while I was doing it, and so they just saw a dude like in sweats with like a camera tripod pointed at his trash can.
Yeah.
Like, what is going on? So
Yeah, I feel like certain things I do wouldn't look bad until you set up a tripod and put a camera on it. Then it just looks a little sus.
okay, everybody's got their thing, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it's become so commonplace for people to be filming in public now.
Yeah, I feel like as long as you're not like screaming and like
Yeah, as long as you're not being obnoxious.
you're not
people
like
don't give
a
shit.
it's just a prank, bro, in public.
Yeah.
I think the bar is set
Yeah,
pretty
it was-
low.
Yeah, 100%. It's like when I was in Germany for the Nextcloud thing and doing a vlog, I was basically in the mindset that was like, people who see me vlogging are probably going to have the same reaction I have when I see someone vlogging, and that's, huh, okay. And then you forget it, they ever existed like 3 seconds later.
Yeah.
So it made it a little bit easier. But then one of the Nextcloud guys told me, he's like, yeah, so by the way, if you have someone, if their face is recognizable in your vlog, you should probably blur them out for like, it's like German law. Like if
Oh.
yeah, like if you can't put them in the video, they can request to take it down. It's like illegal. So I think I only had like 2 scenes where people had their face showing, so it wasn't that bad. But is that what it is? German purity law? Is that what it's called?
No idea.
Okay. Yeah, it's a real thing.
Kurt Part 2 will be released, I believe, 2 weeks from today, right? That's the plan?
Yes,
I
on
believe so.
the 1st, right?
That's the plan.
Yeah, and there will be
Yeah.
a live. Wait,
Live stream that night.
yeah, that's right. Because wait,
Hold on, I have the
challenge
calendar.
ends. Yeah, challenge ends on the 27th. Right.
Challenge ends on the last day is the 26th. So like
Okay,
midnight on the 27th is the competition's over.
Yeah.
And then the recap the release for that is December 1st.
That's first.
So
Okay.
that's the quick turnaround week, and then the recap live stream is that night.
Yeah, that'll be
So-
fun, and that'll be obviously the video will be out, so you guys will see what we've put together. But in the live stream is when we get to pitch it to everybody live and have our special guest come in and crown a winner. So that'll be fun. I'm looking forward to that. Chris, because of you guys and a few others, I continue to work on my home lab, though it's currently funding my power company's Christmas party every year by myself. I feel that, dude. I appreciate it so much. Thank you for the tip, for the
Yeah.
donation.
Thanks, Chris.
Yeah, I am glad you are praising us, because you could also turn around and be like, you guys are the reason I'm spending money and have a huge power bill. But no, I've been in those shoes. Before I started home labbing, there was a handful of YouTubers I'd watched that got me into it. And it's crazy that I like in like, what would you call it? A group, and where I can like talk to these people, these creators. And it's just weird. Like Jeff from Craft Computing was someone I had watched for probably years before I'd even gotten into home labbing on YouTube. And then to like be in a Discord with him and, you know, just be able to talk to him is just weird to me. It's crazy.
Yeah, that was Jeff Gearling. So other Jeff. Or the Jeff. Depends on which Jeff you're talking to as to which one's the other Jeff.
Both of them for sure.
Yeah, but Gearling was like, I watched his Raspberry Pi stuff really early on because I actually got like a Raspberry Pi 3 from like, it was from like work that just kind of got thrown out, and I was like, cool, what can I do with this? And started looking into some of the stuff from Gearling's channel, and that was like where I learned a whole lot of like the home labby type stuff. So it's really weird talking to him and not, yeah. So,
and a big one was once I first dipped my toes in home labbing and got off into the networking part of it, so many Lawrence Systems videos. So Tom from Lawrence Systems, I'd watched so many of his videos, and then to see him in Discord and be able to talk to him, like, oh, this is weird, man. But yeah,
Uriel, I'm not sure how to say it, said, we both went to the 45 drives thing recently with all the other tech tubers. Nope.
Where?
It's up above Chris's.
Okay.
Yeah.
That just reminds me. Yeah, no, we weren't there. But
I can't tell if that's like a genuinely like nice thing or if that's like throwing shade. Like.
Yeah, no, it was funny. After that, what was the comment? I got a comment on some video or something, and that was something like, yeah, and the 45 drives thing was awesome, or like the creator thing was so great on like one of my videos, and I was like, oh yeah, probably because I wasn't there. It was just funny. Like, nope, not there. But yeah, no, I don't. No shade thrown. I fully didn't expect to be brought out to that.
Yeah, I definitely did not expect to.
Which was crazy when I saw an email pop up in my inbox from 45 Drives. And they wanted to be like, hey, you want to try out the HL15? I'm like,
boy, would I.
You sure you got the right email address there? But yeah, it's wild. So I will say, yes, it's cool to have these connections with brands and like get to try out stuff. But don't think that every single email that you get that we get is the coolest thing ever.
Oh, it's
brutal. My inbox is flooded with the dumbest shit. And
so much of it.
The same companies with their spammy ass emails reaching out, trying to get me to review a freaking table lamp. Like, leave me alone. Please. It's ridiculous.
Yes. Yep. I turned down. It's funny because you'll get those comments where it's like, oh, well, of course you did this video just because you were getting another. And it's like, I don't know how many times it has to be said. And like, I get it. Like, there was a point in time where, I don't know, getting a free mini PC would have been like sick. So I get it. But it's like at some point, it's like, this doesn't. If you send me some crappy product that I can't really make an interesting video on, or a video that I don't care about, it's not worth the time to make that video. Like all the time to put into that for a crappy $200 mini PC that's the exact same as every other thing, or a table lamp, or a so not to sound like it's first world problems for sure, but definitely don't assume that every YouTuber accepts every offer they get.
Yeah.
Because most of them are.
Yeah, most of them suck.
Yeah.
And the annoying part is balancing, which I feel like I don't have to do, luckily, because I don't really take too many sponsored videos on just like random stuff. If I do a sponsored video, I think the only ones, I recently did a Synology one, but I actually use Synology stuff. which was annoying because it's a sponsored video, and people are like, "Oh, sponsored video. You're only saying that because it's sponsored by Synology." I'm like, "Well, no, I actually use Synology stuff." So when they were like, "Hey, can we sponsor something?" I'm like, "Absolutely," because I use it. So, and that's the annoying part, and it's. Someone had commented. I try not to let comments get under my skin, but I knew someone was going to say something that was going to annoy me on that video. And it was like, "Oh, Synology's paying you the big bucks to say that stuff, huh?" I'm like, "No, I've literally used it. Go watch my videos. I have a video of me using this stuff 2 years ago."
Yep.
But, anyway, tangent. Off on a tangent.
Proof of that, every video you sent me for the home lab thing was via Synology. So
It was.
yep, hosty boy.
Mm-hmm. It's so easy.
Gearling, hey.
We were just talking about you. He said, "Ah."
I definitely
Welcome.
didn't call you other Jeff.
Ooh. Smoked. Now, we were just talking about reminiscing before we were big Hollywood YouTubers over
Yep.
here. Talking about which content creators we actually watched before getting into YouTube. And I'd mentioned Jeff, which was easier to just say Jeff because I'd actually watched you and Jeff from Craft Computing before even getting into home labbing stuff. So to see you in one of my live streams is just bonkers. Even though we're in Discord and we talk regularly, but
It's yeah, weird things.
yeah, definitely some
Hey,
imposter syndrome.
He's in my
sometimes.
first live stream.
He is.
on-
You're 1 for 1
well,
on getting a Jeff in your streams.
Yeah. Well, I guess I don't know. Yeah, every live stream I've done on YouTube has involved Jeff Gearling now officially. So
Wow, there's some good odds, man.
yeah,
100% batting 1,000 on Jeffs. Ooh, when did you start getting into home labbing? In the 90s, it was just a pile of duct tape and chewing gum because virtualization wasn't really around. I am new to the home lab game. I started off on YouTube making random tech videos. You can go watch some of my early stuff. It's stupid. Just basic computer stuff and buying random shit on Amazon and trying to make a funny video that were actually pretty cringe. And then I saw one video on like virtualization stuff. So I tried it and that video popped off. And I'm like, "Oh, people want to watch this shit." So probably what, 2.5 years? 3? I don't know.
that's
Not long.
that's about. I'm trying to think. Because I was getting really into it probably like late 2019. No, like early 2019 was kind of when I first started getting into like any sort of self-hosting anything, like Raspberry Pi stuff, that sort of thing. Because I remember we built our house. Like we started planning building our house at the very, oh my gosh, I'm gonna mess it all up now. It was like 2020 was like when we built our house, and that was when I made sure it was wired with Cat 5e at the time, because I was like, oh, this could be cool. So yeah, it's been very recent for me as well.
I like this timely question from Dan. Any thoughts on starting with ARM SBCs for a low power lab? Right as Jeff Gearling enters the chat, I think this must be Jeff's his burner account. No, absolutely. I mean, and I'd say like a few years ago, I felt like Raspberry Pi was like, if you wanted an ARM SBC, you went with the Raspberry Pi. But there's so many options now. You don't have to go Raspberry Pi. There's plenty of different options, and they're only getting better and better. More powerful, more power efficient, and more developers are developing for ARM systems with ARM compatibility in mind. So it's definitely feasible now, more so than it was 5 years ago.
I would say, like, look, Not that I'm like arguing against ARM. I think a lot of the single board computers are great if you're looking to run like nothing crazy. But if you look up what any workloads you're wanting to run or any services or operating systems, and you notice that there's conflicts with it being ARM, you can find used x86 PCs that I think in one of the last videos I did where I took a look at like the N100, which is like a 6-watt TDP chip. I compared it to an i5-6500T, which is a 35-watt TDP chip. But when they're both just sitting, like we're, just kind of running an operating system, sitting fairly idle, the power draw difference was only like 1.5 watts. So,
yeah.
Granted, ARM, like a Raspberry Pi is going to be like a third of what either of those were. So, just yeah, I think just knowing what you want to do, and then look into if that's going to work. So, but
yeah, and you can say there's so many different ways to get to the end goal of what you want to do. Like if you want to host Plex, if you're like, man, that looks cool. I saw a video on someone hosting Plex. There are a billion different ways to host Plex. And for the most part, no matter what way you go about it, it's going to be fine. Depending on your use case, if you're trying to freaking host a Plex for your entire family, an entire neighborhood, and have it transcoding nonstop, multiple streams at a time, obviously you're going to have to put a little bit more effort and funds into your system. But for tinkering and learning, the hardware is so not important, honestly. But I like hardware. I think it's fun. And there's two sides of it. Yeah.
Hardware's all right,
When do we get a software haven secondary channel?
So, funny story. I had a coworker who is not tech savvy at all, but he kept making this joke that he was going to make like a rival YouTube channel called Software Raven. He just made the stupid thing. So then like, it was like this running joke in our office for a while that how's Software Raven doing? And then I was filming a video and I made a joke where I was like, hey, at this point I should just change the channel name from Hardware Haven to Software Haven. But I was so used to saying Software Raven, I said Software Raven. And I didn't notice it until I was like about to publish, and I had to go back and like re-record the voiceover and stuff. And but
just gotta leave it.
So I kept making I had plans to I technically have made a second channel. I just haven't done anything on it. But I was really playing with the idea of just calling it Software Raven as an inside joke and just rolling with it. But yeah, it's Hardware Haven because that's what I know slightly more about.
Yeah. All right, well, it looks like we are at just about hitting 2 hours, which I think is a good winding down point.
Merge the two channels to be Al Haven.
Yeah, Raid Haven. Actually sounds pretty cool. People ask me, like, oh, how did you get your name? Like, where did Raid Al come from? And it's the most boring, like, not interesting story at all. It's like, it sounded cool. And, I had a LLC for doing like side work, developing, and it's called Happy Owl, and that stemmed from something else. But I was like, oh, I'll just keep it owl themed. And I was like, what sounds good with owl? And I was just putting random. I spent like a week thinking of random words to go in front of it, and I came up with a raid. I'm like, oh, that sounds good. The end. Not exciting at all.
I really thought for like the longest time, it wasn't until I think I looked to make sure I spelled like because I think I was looking to see if there was a space between raid and owl or not when I was like making some stuff for this, and I like in my head raid was all caps, like that's just how I thought it was, like as you
gotta scream it. It's in all caps for a reason.
Oh man,
it's yeah, not an interesting story. I feel like I should at least just come up with something so that when people ask me, it sounds more interesting than it really is. But
yeah.
Okay, well, anybody in the chat, we'll read a few more here, and then we'll wind it down. But yeah, I appreciate everybody stopping by,
For sure. Thank
Kurt,
you guys.
got to get to sleep, guys. Enjoy the live. Catch y'all next live stream. Good night, everyone. Kurt, thank you so much for
Thanks, Kurt.
hopping by. Coffee Z, thank you so much for the member subscription early in the stream. I saw that. I appreciate
Heck yeah,
it.
Coffee.
Thank you so much, Mr. Coffee. Uriel, thank you so much. Good night, Raid, Haven, and Hardware Owl. It's like the fusion for all you
Yeah.
Dragon Ball Z, Gogeta, Vegito. If you gotta have some Dragon Ball Z fans out there.
My parents wouldn't let me watch it when I was a kid. So
Really? Dragon Ball Z?
I think so. I think it was more so we actually just didn't have. It wasn't on like networks we had because we lived like way out in the country,
Okay.
and then there were like, because wasn't it on like Cartoon Network or something like that?
Yeah, Toonami.
Yeah, and I think there was like some other shows on there that my parents were just like, yep, you don't
Yeah,
watch that
Toonami
channel. So
was-
I was like,
yeah.
okay,
That was the adult, like from Japan anime
yeah,
stuff, late night.
definitely
style
Amish.
stuff.
I was definitely Amish Novella Hub. Also, I couldn't.
Nice.
You said remember Raid is not a backup, and I can't not hear that in Craft Jeff's voice.
Yeah, yeah. The funny story, real quick, about Dragon Ball Z, and I had watched it religiously growing up, and I remember I would have to get home at like, it came on like 5 o'clock or something, and I remember it was the final episode of Dragon Ball Z that was being aired after school the next day, and I had told my mom, I'm like, Mom, I have to be home by 5. I have to. This is the final ever episode of Dragon Ball Z. And for those who don't know, it's a long ass series. And this was before the time where you could just go on YouTube and watch it, or go somewhere on the internet and just watch it if you missed it. If I missed that, it starts over. I would have to wait like a long time to see it. So I was telling my mom, like, tomorrow you have to pick me up from school like early enough to where I can see it. And she didn't pick me up in time, and I was so upset. I had to ask my friend what happened, and he had to describe it to me, like word for word. Like, we spent the entire recess of him telling me what happened in the last episode, and it was brutal. So I
At
think
what
like
point?
years.
I was about to say, what point did you finally get to go back and watch it?
I was gonna say years later, I finally looked it up. Got to look it up and watch it. And I was like, man, that was good. I would have liked to have been like, oh, I didn't miss much, but it was a good last episode. So
It's a long ass series, but mostly staring and grunting. That's been my impression.
Correct.
Of the
yes, yeah, that's why the
My minimal
famous
experience.
next time on Dragon Ball Z meme comes in. They actually remade it, and they cut it up to where it's not as brutal as it used to be, but that made it more epic. But yeah, no, it's a lot of grunting and and a lot of filler, but it is what it is. Okay, well,
Yeah.
we're going to end it there on something not Home Lab related at all. Dragon Ball Z, why not? But yeah, guys, that was it. We had our final wheel spin. We have a week left of the challenge. If you're in here, you probably saw our videos, but if you didn't, they're linked down in the description below. Colton's channel, Hardware Haven, you know it already, but it's linked down in the description below. Go check it out. We have our final parts of the video dropping on December 1st. They will go live at the same time.
Mark
And
it in
we
your
will have-
calendars.
Yep, mark it. Subscribe to both of our channels. Make sure you hit that bell icon. Absolutely smash that bell icon. But the next live stream will be on Colton's channel. So
Yep.
look out for that, where we will do a final reveal live stream, talk about everything, and bring in our mystery judge to declare a winner. So that is it. I appreciate
Yeah.
it, Colton. Thank you so much for hopping on here and setting this up. This was actually the brainchild of Colton. He came to me and asked me to do this challenge. So hats off to him for that. It's been fun. And yeah,
I feel like
for hopping on the live stream.
it has to be made clear that my original idea would have sucked. You brought all the fun elements to it, so
I think I brought the wheel. That's all. I said, hey, how about a wheel? And he was like, that's cool. And he's done everything else. So
nah.
I just mentioned the word wheel. That's my contribution. But
Well, Googly
it's
Eyes was
been
all
fun.
you, so
yeah, but neither one of us got it, man. Damn. Next time I'm just spamming the wheel with googly eyes.
Next time. All right.
Yeah. All right,
It's been
everyone.
fun, man.
Yep. Peace out. See you guys in 2 weeks, I think. Yeah, that sounds right.
I guess I'm just gonna
Adios.
wave till the stream
Yeah,
ends.
just keep waving. Just keep waving.